Notre Dame versus Syracuse is almost here, folks. And to give three keys and score predictions to the game, we have Blue and Gold's Tyler James with us. Before we dive into previewing this matchup, we're going to ask you to hit the thumbs up on this video. Of course, subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel for more content and find so much more on this matchup over on our website, blueandgold.com. Your first key to the game, Tyler, is keeping emotions in check on senior day.
Yeah, Notre Dame has done a pretty good job of that under Marcus Freeman and even going back in the later Brian Kelly years. And so I don't know that it's a major concern, but I think anytime you have so many guys playing potentially their last final game in Notre Dame Stadium, it's something that you have to make sure that you handle individually and as a team, get back on track as soon as the game gets started and get focused back up. But yeah, Notre Dame will have 32 seniors honored prior to the game. So that's a lot of players, whether they're seniors or redshirt juniors, who will be running out with family members and being recognized before the game to the crowd. And that can be a bit of an emotional moment, but as long as they get back in gear right before kickoff and focus on the task at hand, they should be okay.
Now, we do have that list, or Notre Dame sent it out, like who's going to be walking. Was there any surprises of that group of 32, or is it about what you expected? Like anyone that is walking that you didn't expect, and then maybe someone who isn't walking that you thought might?
Not necessarily. I mean, it was cool to see Trey Reeder included on that. He's a former
Yeah.
walk-on linebacker who's been helping with the coaching staff and support staff. I think he's even been helping out with recruiting stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
He's included in that, so that was neat to see him included. Two guys that were redshirt juniors that aren't on the list were Ty Washington, the transfer from Arkansas, and then center Ashton Craig. So that likely means that they're coming back. Not necessarily big surprises on either front.
Sure.
Obviously, with Ashton Craig and his injury history, and Ty Washington certainly isn't playing like an NFL player by any stretch. So pretty standard list, nothing too surprising, and it's not like binding either, right? Like people want to read into it a lot, but guys can come back after being honored or get honored and decide to do something different. So
key number 2, protecting the football.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's done a pretty good job for most of the season, but just especially coming off of CJ Carr's 2 interception game. The first time he's thrown 2 interceptions in a game against Pittsburgh. I think that's an important thing for Notre Dame to focus on and make sure they don't give Syracuse extra possessions. The vast talent disparity between these two teams should be pretty obvious. But I think if Notre Dame gives up the football, gives Syracuse extra possessions, gives Syracuse a reason to believe that it can hang around in this game, that would be no good. And so Notre Dame needs to make sure it's focused on that. CJ Carr, we've seen, is plenty capable of understanding what defenses are doing, but make sure he doesn't let up and allow the defense to make a play on him.
All right, let's look at key number 3. Let Schmidt kick. I like this one. There was an instance in the game last week where it was like 4th and goal, or it was like it was in the red zone, and Notre Dame went for it on 4th down. I was kind of surprised. I thought they might let Schmidt kick in that instance and get some confidence. Of course, he missed that 46-yarder, which it's a 46-yarder. If he's missing a 25, 30-yarder, I get it. You should be making those, but 46 yards is kind of a 50-50 proposition in college football anyway. So, are you kind of the same mindset of me with your key number 3 here, Tyler?
Yeah, I think he's got to see it go through the uprights, right? I mean, he's 0 for 3 officially this season on field goal attempts. We don't know when Noah Burnett will be back. There's a chance. Mario Biaggi said there's a chance if he's healthy that they're willing to put him back into the starting lineup in the playoffs if he's back on track. But right now, Eric Schmidt's the guy, and he needs to have confidence that he can make field goals, especially in Notre Dame Stadium or anywhere for that matter. I was surprised that they didn't try to kick more field goals, especially not just there was the 4th and goal that Notre Dame went for, but there was later in the game. It was like 4th and 5. I think it would have been like a 43-yard attempt if they decided to send him out there, and they opted to go for it. They didn't convert the 4th down. It was of no consequence because the game was already decided, but it just felt like an opportunity where, listen, you got a freshman kicker who needs to gain some confidence. Yeah, maybe he misses it, but he needs to get some opportunities, some reps. And the field goals just haven't been going right for him. Well, they have been going right, but right at the goalposts, unfortunately. He at least has been pretty consistent with his PATs. He's 24, 25, but I think Notre Dame should have an opportunity that they can force a field goal opportunity that maybe Marcus Freeman with his aggressive playing style would normally go for it. But hey, just let the kicker get some more reps,
Sure.
because I think that's an important part of the game for Notre Dame moving forward. Maybe not in terms of determining the outcome on Saturday, but
Right.
I imagine it could determine the outcome of a future game.
Folks, this game is, of course, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time kick on NBC. Yeah, it's like, all right, keeping emotions intact, protecting the football, and let Schmidt kick. That's, I feel like, a coach's way of, and I know you're putting on like a coach's hat for these keys, is a way to say Syracuse is bad at football. And the Vegas lines certainly indicate that Notre Dame is a 35.5-point favorite. As you give your prediction, I'm going to pull up what the opening line was to see if that moved throughout the week. But yeah, over under 50.5. So that is a lot. That's a high spread, right? 35.5 for kind of a low total. Which, yeah, that's what you would expect. Like, yeah, Vegas thinks that Notre Dame's really going to blow out Syracuse. Jeremiah Love minus 900 anytime TD score. That's a high number. The spread bets is interesting. So 51%. I don't know if that's like of bettors or if that's 51% of the money, but 51% on Notre Dame. So it's, and then obviously 49% of people or the money thinks 35 and like that Syracuse will cover that 35.5 point spread, which is interesting. And 89% of bettors liking the over there. So that is what our partners at BetMGM think. Tyler James, what is your score prediction for this matchup?
My score predictions are probably a little conservative. I have Notre Dame 41, Syracuse 13. I could see it getting like Notre Dame covering and getting into the 50s, and Syracuse not even getting into double digits. But Notre Dame has given opposing teams some opportunities to score. Not a ton, but I think maybe Syracuse takes advantage of one or two of those opportunities, and maybe Notre Dame settles for a couple field goals to make my 41
Yeah.
score prediction come through. But yeah, I think Notre Dame has the vast advantage in talent. Syracuse hasn't been able to win a game since Steve Angeli went down, and I think this is a pretty big mismatch going into Saturday.
Yeah, that's wild. That they have lost 6 straight, and the most points they've scored in that loss streak is 18. I think Notre Dame 42, Syracuse 6. Man, it's crazy to think that Syracuse hung in there with Tennessee. Tennessee pulled away. They had more. I mean, I watched that game. The Vols just had better talent. Like the Syracuse hung in there, but yeah, the Vols were just so much better. And then Steve throws for 400 yards. They beat UConn in overtime. Not a very impressive win over the Huskies, but still, you win in overtime there. You blow out Colgate. You beat Clemson on the road 34-21, which at the time was a huge upset, of course. And we know just how bad Clemson
Right.
is now, but
Yeah, UConn might be better than Clemson.
and then to lose 6 straight is wild. I just think that Notre Dame's going to beat the doors off them 42-6. Yeah, who knows what this game would look like if Angeli were still healthy. Do expect him at the game, and I would expect there's going to be like a NBC camera on Steve a
Oh,
good
they'll
bit.
find them, yeah, for sure.
Oh, they will find him because there's not going to be a whole lot of storylines because Notre Dame is a very good team and they've won 8 in a row. Syracuse has lost 6 in a row, so it's 2 teams going in different directions. And we will have you covered this game every step of the way, previewing it at blueandgold.com. After the game, we'll be live on this YouTube channel and our second channel with Eric Hansen and Tyler James. They'll have post-game takeaways. You can find that the link to that in the description of this video. Again, just blueandgold.com, the place to be for all things Notre Dame football and recruiting coverage. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. We'll catch you next time.